What we like to do is just breathe a bit at the end of the week or the beginning of the week, however you look at Sunday, and just get ourselves ready for the week ahead. So hope you'll enjoy it. And what we normally do is just have a couple of minutes where we catch up with everybody and give everybody a chance to get into the room. And then we will move right along. Hi, Kerry. Welcome. And how's your knee? I'm just going to get this up while I wait for you to answer that. Okay, just hold on 1 second. I'll be right there. Yes, happy Canada Day to you as well. I meant to put on red today, and by accident I put on the orange instead at the last minute. And I remember now why I wanted to wear red, but never mind. Happy Canada Day to you and to any other Canadians who happen to be watching. And how it sounds like you supported somebody with your race today, Charlotte. Am I correct? For those of you who are tuning in, Charlotte is incredible about doing these 5K races that she does, which is awesome. All right, so just hold on. I'm just going to put the link up. Thank you for the link, Jody. I'm going to put that up right now. And then we will be able to concentrate a little bit. There we go. And we'll put it up on Twitter. Okay, done. Thank you, Jody. I'm getting a little better at that. Who else is in here now? Yes, happy Canada Day. I thank you for that. And okay, so Charlotte, you say that you did it as a wind at your back pacer. So that means that you just keep the pace so the other person can pace with you for a while and then you sort of peel off and somebody else paces for them. Would that be correct? Oh, Kerry, I'm so pleased to hear that. And by the way, Jody, because I know you're trying to find out and I skipped it when you asked me, I'm not in pain anymore, just so that you know. The toothache is gone. Oh, that's great to hear, Kerry. So for those of you listening on the replay, Kerry is just saying that she doesn't need a brace anymore in her knee. So that's awesome. Oh, so is that sort of pace person? So Charlotte is saying that she was behind somebody who was injured, and I motivated her from behind to keep going. That's great. That's very good of you. Yeah, I also was very glad about that, Jody. But I'm going to still keep taking the ibuprofen at night just until I'm 100% sure that infection has gone. All right, so I hope you all had a super weekend. It's a beautiful weekend here in British Columbia. I don't know what it's like where you are. How is the heat, Jody? Yeah, I'm certainly delighted. I know that some of you on the East Coast are having some incredible heat, and we're not even into full summer yet. Well, I suppose we are now, right? We hit 21st. So I really wish you all well on that one. Yeah, you're in the mid 90s. Amy, hi, Amy. Amy's saying it reached 100 where she is. Obviously, we're talking Fahrenheit for those of you who are not American. Do the math. Use Google. I've just learned to accept it in Fahrenheit. So I'm delighted about that. Yeah, no, it's okay, Amy. We presume that was Fahrenheit. It would be pretty nasty if that were centigrade. Yeah, so Charlotte's saying where she is, the heat is almost 40. Do you want to give that to everybody in Fahrenheit, just so they can understand it better, Charlotte? It's very pleasant here. It really is probably about 70 at the most. Wow, Kerry's saying that she had to cover up with blankets last night. She was cold. So wow, that's pretty something, isn't it? All right, no problem, Charlotte. I would need to Google it too, so don't feel badly. I don't have my app available at the moment, so how's everybody's mood? How are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? How are you feeling today? Just so I know. Hi, Melissa. Welcome. Good to meet you. Have we met you before? And thank you for mentioning you're from South Carolina, a place I really want to visit, funny enough. Great, Melissa. So welcome. And just so that everybody gets an idea, what sort of age group are you in decade-wise? Are you in your 20s, your 30s, your 50s? Just let us. Why, it's over 100. Okay, 40. Yeah, that would be. That's pretty warm. Toasty, you would say. All right, so Jody's feeling about a 7 out of 10. That's good, Jody. Amy's saying she's up to an 8. Wow, that's awesome. Delighted to hear that. 7.5 for Chip. Hi, Chip. Good to see you. And the decade was 38 years old in August. Yes, we like that that tells us a lot about you, Melissa. Okay, let me tell you. Do you want to hear what it tells me about you, Melissa? By the way, how did you find us? Yeah, right. And she says 5 in menopause. All right. But here's the thing. The fact that I gave you the option to do it in the decade, but you did it specifically tells me that you're a specific sort of person. We don't take things you say lightly. When you say 1 and 1 equals 2, you mean that. That's what I've learned about you so far. Also, that you've got a sense of humor, obviously, and that you're open to telling the truth. Okay, Charlotte, good night, honey. Good. Thank you for being here. And well done on supporting somebody. All right. So what do we need to tell Melissa? Everybody, let's make sure that we cover the bases and let her know where we're from. I'm sitting in southern British Columbia. Do you know me from anywhere else, Melissa, or did you just happen across the announcement? You're an avid Benji and Judy watcher, which is why you know me. Kerry's saying, I need to tell you about a 2x4 and the mop. Okay, so the 2x4 is, if ever I think you probably need a bit of reality check, I will actually say to the person that I'm working with, I'm in need of giving you a 2x4, but I will always ask permission, and you always have the right to say no, pass. But it is important that you know that if you hear me talk about a 2x4, I'm about to really tell somebody some truth they probably don't want to hear, or they're going to tell me a truth that I don't want to hear. And the other thing was mop. Oh yes, if you hear anybody say mop, that comes from an original broadcast I did years and years and years ago. And I remember saying, does anybody have a mop? And they all went, no, why? And I went, because if you don't, I'm going to need to visit the washroom. So we just say mop if we need to go away from the keyboard. All right. So Kerry's saying she saw her teddy bear and that's her boyfriend in her life. So that's awesome. And I'm happy for you because I'm certain that you had a great time. Amy, I didn't know you were 48. Isn't that interesting? Nor that you were from Texas. Do you know that Texas is a lot of my viewers come from Texas? Not my broadcast viewers, but my day-to-day viewers. It's one of my, I think it goes California, Texas, and then New York. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm not quite sure why. But yeah, you're a week before me, Amy. I'm going to be 71 this year. Can you believe it? Scary stuff. All right, so let me see what else I need to remember that I haven't thought of yet. I'm just going to check my notes here. Oh, it's Sakura's birthday on the 4th. We need to know that in terms of birthdays. And Jen, and her teddy bear, their anniversary is on the 6th, just so that you know that. All right, so we're giving a round of applause to Chip because she did do her shredding. Yay, well done. And let me see what else I've got back. I haven't seen Debbie. And our condolences for Chip, for those of you who weren't here earlier in the week, the rescue dog that she was so kindly helping, unfortunately passed. Thank you, Melissa. I think my eyes are half open today, right? Melissa, I've been struggling with the most terrible allergies. And I think I managed to get my eyes half open today. On Friday, they were sort of like this the whole time. I couldn't open them at all. And it was funny because people who knew me really well could see I was struggling, but I guess if you didn't know me, it would be good. It's just like people who knew me, and used to seeing my eyes, they were going, yeah, you're struggling a bit, aren't you? Yeah, it was really sad, Chip, for Chip. But anyway, I appreciated the fact she let us know so that we could do that. Let me just double check here. Yeah, she's not in the room yet, so we'll wait until she gets in the room and see how she's doing. She probably will be here, knowing her. All right, so if everybody's ready, we're going to call it 13 minutes again, Jody, if we can. And I'm going to get my glasses on. There she is. I love that. If I mention your name, you appear. It's quite magical. All right. So, Melissa, just so you know, on Sundays, we do soul work, which means I'm going to read a quote. And then people just talk about what that brings up for them. Does that make sense, Melissa? And if you have anything that you would like to discuss, you just need to say, I'd like a little time to discuss something, because we will always make time. If there's anybody else that needs time to discuss something, please let me know. Yeah, I'm not very far ahead of you. Kerry's saying she's managed to shower and get dressed today, but that's about it. I actually managed to make dinner. And for those of you who always want to know, it is beef barley stew tonight with fresh bread that I'm just about to bake. And I will do some mashed potato and some baby boiled potatoes, because I find that people like both for some reason. I'm trying to work that one out. You could truly use anything soulful. All right, Melissa. So let's give you a hug, first of all. So if soulful is what you need, soulful is what you're going to get. Jody says she's managed to get as far as breathing and blinking. If you don't mind my saying so, Jody, I think you also managed coffee at one point. All right, here we go. Take a deep breath, everybody, and relax, all right? Here we go. Thoughts are things. they have tremendous power. Thoughts of doubt and fear are pathways to failure. When you conquer negative attitudes of doubt and fear, you conquer failure. Thoughts crystallize into habit, and habit solidifies into circumstance. Brian Adams said that from How to Succeed. I'm going to read it again. And just feedback, for those of you who are prepared to have me mention it out loud, just feedback to me what that brings up in your mind. Thoughts are things, they have tremendous power. Thoughts of doubt and fear are pathways to failure. When you conquer negative attitudes of doubt and fear, you conquer failure. Thoughts crystallize into habit, and habit solidifies into circumstance. So, does that bring up anything for anybody? It actually does for me. So, but I'd like to give you guys a chance first. Jody, just while we're waiting, I worked it out that I do quarter of a cup of powder to 2/3 of a cup of liquid, and I just guesstimate it, but that's what I turned out. That's what my skim milk powder is. So you understand the negative thought thing, but you haven't quite conquered the overcoming it yet, Melissa. Is that right? Yeah, I actually measured it today just because I know that you're thinking of doing it that way. Wow, Melissa. So you really could do with some support. We're so glad you're here. So are they sick? Obviously, this is personal and private to you, and you're welcome to just pass on it. But are we allowed to know in what way they are sick, just so we can get a measure? And if it's no, it's perfectly okay. That's a difficult thing to have both of them sick at the same time. And I guess my question would be, are both your wow, Melissa. Melissa, I'm not going to read it out loud until you physically give me permission to do so. I'm happy not to read that out loud. No, don't worry. Don't ever worry about typos. I'm not a school teacher. We're here to communicate, and I read typos pretty well. I just need to know if it's okay for me to read that out loud because this will go on the replay, but without the notes. So I don't have to have that, but just let me know if I can talk about it. Because that really sounds to me like you could do with some serious support here. Okay, so I've got the okay from Melissa. So take a deep breath, everybody, because boy, did I start with the right quote today. Melissa's telling me, yes, 4-year-old son has been diagnosed with a brain tumor, and her daughter is struggling with mental health. How can we best support you, Melissa? And I say that because, maybe you just would like to be part of the room and not talk about this anymore. Or maybe you would like us to get you some people to talk to during the week so you're not alone on this, because I think it can be very lonely when you're dealing with something like that, especially if you've raised them alone most of the time. So for me, it's like we have a really great group of people who are great at supporting people. So if you'd like some support during the week, you just need to let us know, and they will. I know it does. So Melissa's saying just having a live chat and being surrounded with others helps. You bet it does. And we do that. And don't ever think that you're taking time away from us, Melissa. You need to know this is the reason we're here. All right. So that's what we do. And by the way, Melissa, if you write to me at dearmamasal@gmail.com, I will pass on the names of people who are willing to be on your support group. And I need you to know that you can write to me anytime. All right. I will get back to you. I will read your email as soon as I can, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But sometimes that isn't immediate. Does that make sense? So just dearmamasal@gmail.com. And if you're willing to have people support you, let me know that, and I will pass them on. Yeah, I'm sure Jody's there for you as well, Melissa. So both Kiri and Jody are willing to be part of your support team if you would like that. You may want to get to know them a bit better. They are two very different people, Melissa. I just need to warn you. But both have hearts of gold. Hi, Kim. Good to see you. Oh, Melissa. It's why we're here. And I really pass that on to anybody that you know, because that's what we do. All right. So, question, and feel free to pass again. Is your daughter that has the mental health issue getting help? Yeah, I would say you two are almost polar opposites, except for the size of your hearts. Yeah. So I just want to tell you that I don't know if it makes a difference, Melissa, but just so that you know that I understand, I actually inaugurated the humor room of the cancer clinic, the brain cancer clinic here in Vancouver many years ago. And I used to go there at least once a year and do a speech for them. So I have some knowledge of the problem. And, I have to tell you this, Melissa. I was amazed how many people I kept seeing year after year. So I just want to give you, I'm not sure at what stage your son is at, but, just know that sometimes it goes better than you think it is going to. And I need to say that. Okay, so bipolar, we've got people in the room that are bipolar, so we've got lots of resources for you. But the good news is on medication, it can help. I actually married somebody who was bipolar, Melissa. My problem was getting them to take their medication. But yeah. In fact, on medication, he used to drive me insane because he was so stable. Okay, so, and what sort of age are they? Yeah. Kerry's a very straight shooter. She calls it as she sees it, but is incredible at helping people. And also, Jody, just struggles with her own stuff, and quite a bit. And she has lymphedema, but she is just so supportive. It is amazing. So both of them are great for you because you'll be able to vent to them. That's very important, by the way, Melissa. You need a safe place with people that you can vent to, because I'm sure you get angry. Okay. So all the more reason why you need some help. All right. Yeah. Do you know something, Melissa? I've said it time and time again. I never go looking for viewers because I have noticed that when people need me, they find me. And I say me, I mean us, the group. So, yeah. All right. So we've got help for you and people who understand. And by the way, just in case you don't know this, some really great people had mental illness. Churchill, for one. You know what I mean? It never stopped him from being a world leader. Yeah, I'm glad you did too, honey, because we do this stuff. That's what we do. It's like your giant extended family. And some days you're going to love us and some days you're not. But that's okay. All right, let's move on just so that we can continue the process. Yeah, he was bipolar. Yeah. So was Vivian Lee, the star of Gone with the Wind. Anyway, I could carry on a lot, but just know that bipolar is not the end of the world either. Here we go. This is from Jane Roberts in The Nature of Personal Reality. She said, "You are given the gifts of the gods. You create your reality according to your beliefs. Yours is the creative energy that makes your world. There are no limitations to the self except those you believe in." I'm going to read it again. You are given the gifts of the gods. You create your own reality according to your beliefs. Sorry. Yours is the creative energy that makes your world. There are no limitations to the self except those you believe in. Now, I really need to hear that this week because I've been having some negative thoughts go through my mind, and I've really been working hard to control them. But the truth is, I can change my reality by changing my thoughts. Do you all agree with that? Or I can stay in those thoughts and have a little pity party if that's what I need. But I find when I get negative thoughts, I really do process them. I go, okay, what am I feeling? Yeah, I try and get to the emotion. Am I feeling sad? Yeah, down. Yep. Am I feeling angry? Da, 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 da. And I will go through the different emotions. And then I'll go, why? Why am I feeling that? Kimmy, can you talk about why you've been feeling down? And then I try and look at both sides of the story. Yes, Kerry's great quote, right? It's okay to have a pity party, but just don't unpack and live there. Yeah, exactly. Wow. Jodie's saying, for those on the replay, Jodie's saying, I see you in that quote, Sal. I see you as the person with no limitations and a true believer that anything is possible. I wish I could say that is true of me. It is true of me sometimes, Jodie. Probably less times than you think. I'm just a human being, right? And so I have my own set of negative thoughts that run through my mind, and yeah. All right. So Kim's saying she knows why she's down. She just needs to get to therapy. Kim, I know that you said you were going to go to therapy. So when do you start? And the other question I would have you been before? Two very important questions. Yeah, yeah. Some of my days are not quite as as good as others, right? I was really beating up on myself yesterday because yet again, I was so tired yesterday. I was like a slug. And I think it has something to do, because it's a pattern, with the fact that when I broadcast twice on a Friday, it actually does drain me quite a bit. And so Saturdays, I'm not firing on, many cylinders. I'm like a one-stroke car. Yep. That's it. Okay, so Kim, if you want to reply to that, I just wondered when you're going to start therapy and have you been before? So two questions for you, but you don't need to answer if you don't want to. All right, so let's move on. Think about this one. Just take. Okay, so Kim's going on Monday. All right, and she knows what she's in for. All right, that's what I just wanted to make sure, Kim, because I can remember when I first went into therapy. I mean, I just didn't know. Nobody had ever told me what to do about that. Nobody had said, well, when you go into therapy, this is what you do. And I really didn't realize until that happened to me that my life, I'd always, known what it was I was meant to do, and therefore I did it. And it was the first time I was totally flummoxed. I don't know if any of you relate to that, but I had no idea what you were meant to do in therapy. I knew I needed it, but I didn't know, you know, what the process was. And anyway, so you can imagine it was quite entertaining. And you guys know that I questioned a lot of things. Yeah, where did you get that information? Yeah. Who are you quoting there? I want to know. Okay, this one is a short quote. So take a breath. A thing is complete when you can let it be. Here we go. It's the old quote from the Beatles again. Let it be. A thing is complete when you can let it be. So any of you holding on to old stuff? And my question to you would be, how long have you been holding on to it? Yeah. Amy, I want to tell you, I used to do that so much. And now I've learned it is what it is. I think some of you who've listened to me for a long time know that I say that a lot. Yeah, it is what it is. Let's move on. Too long. Yeah, Melissa, totally agree with you. Um, and by the way, Melissa, I'm sorry, but because you probably don't know me that well, but I got a weird sense of humor. Has all this worrying about it and regurgitating it actually made it any better? Yes, Paul McCartney, in an interview, said that he wrote that "Let It Be" song after his mother appeared to him in a dream and said to him, "Let it be." Yeah, Melissa. I mean, that's the weird thing, isn't it? I mean, it's like we waste all this time worrying ourselves sick, and why did they do this, and why did I do that, and I wonder whether da 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 da. And you're going, it doesn't make any difference, really. It just is what it is. Move on. Worrying about whether somebody will ever contact you again. Yeah, there's only one way to find out. Let it be and see what happens. Um, I've always said one of the things that, for those of you who know Dougie, I mean, know Benji, but if you know one of my other sons, Dougie, he did an experiment one time where he stopped contacting any of the people on his Facebook page, and he wanted to see if anybody contacted him. And it was amazing how few did. And luckily, I was the first one. I was so relieved about that. Um, but he said, it was amazing when I didn't put in the work. It was amazing how few people cared about the fact that I wasn't contacting them. Interesting. Now, you can either take that as a lesson, um, that it's time to get some new friends, or you can, get yourself totally depressed. What's wrong with me that nobody wants to contact me? Well, the truth is, it's their stuff, not yours. Okay, let me read here. Yeah, Melissa, that is so true. And it happens to a lot of people. Okay. I wrote a book once, Melissa, called Who's Pressing Your Buttons? And I want to just show you what I talked about in that book. All right. What I said was that anybody can handle one layer. Let's do it with bits of paper. Or most people can handle one layer of stress. Okay. Here it is. Okay, Melissa, I want you to get this really clear. And then what happens if somebody brings in another layer? Now it's a bit heavier. And then somebody brings in another layer and it's a bit heavier. Oops. All right. And if you don't get time to process all of this, you're quite right. It builds up and it gets buried and you don't deal with it. How many of you that are regulars here have found that actually dealing with stuff, good and bad, is the answer? Melissa, I don't know if you have ever done it, but I'm busy working on The Artist's Way. Um, uh, it's an incredible book that actually, is a great way to work through stuff if you've got stuff building up. Because what it does is it shows you how to get the stuff processed, and also to live. Are you a creative person, Melissa? Because it's really important to know that you need, taking the time to get it out of your mind is a really good use of your time. And, the artist's way basically, so, guides you on how to journal it all out. And it's a very clever thing. So just think about that for any of you who are trying to do that. Wow, Melissa, it's like, how on earth did you cope with all of this? Yeah. I would say that, that there's part of me, Melissa, that says you must be a survivor of some sort. That for you to be able to handle all of that and not be, that's a huge amount of stuff to be handling and to have handled. You just keep going. Yeah. But the thing is, you you need to know that it should. And are you in getting help, Melissa? Good girl. Asking for help. If you're coping with all of that, asking for help is not a luxury. It's the best. Yeah, you need it. Yeah, you bet you do. And that's, understand that's not because you're weak. Yeah, I think we're all going to send a big hug to Melissa. No, honey, don't thank me. I'm just so proud of you that you're smart enough to realize that's what you need to do. We've got one viewer, Melissa, who joins us from England sometimes, and she has a tremendous amount of stuff going on in her life. And, you know, it's amazing that you can do this, and we will support you in doing it. Oh gosh, we know that feeling, Melissa. I mean, I know that feeling. I've been there. So big hugs to you. And the most important thing is that I know what courage it takes to talk about it. And that's why I'm always amazed that people can do that. We've had people listen to the broadcast for years before they, actually came in and participated. So thank you for coming in, and thank you. This tells us you really do want some help. All right, because you're letting go of your ego. All right. And telling your truth. And that's really important. And by the way, there isn't a person here, I don't think, that doesn't understand you. Ah, Melissa. Do you know, it's funny because there's so many times in my life that I actually say, I don't think I'm going to do this anymore. The haters are giving me trouble or whatever. And then, somebody like yourself will pop in and I'll go, yeah, that's why I'm still here. Because I never know who's going to pop up at the next broadcast that needs some help. And the team, some of the people in this room have been with me for nearly 6 years, for as long as I've been doing this. So, we help one another. This is not about you're the broken one. This is a room full of people that understand what you're talking about. And a room full of people that will create an extended family for you anytime you want it. By the way, they will set boundaries. If you start, ha, okay, Melissa, definitely. If you write to me, I'll send you the link to the download on that I have. And it's a free download so that you can just start working through it. Yeah, Kerry's been here, one of the little ones. There is Linda. Linda, meet Melissa. Melissa joins us from Texas. She's 38, did she say? And that requires a brain cell working today. And little green is Linda, and she joins us from England. South Carolina. There you go. Okay. So we're moving right. Hi, Ireland. Good to see you. I know you're more than welcome to do that. I appreciate that. Did I say Linda? Sorry. It's Emma, and she's from Ireland. Little green leprechaun. Yes, I think I'd remember that, wouldn't you? There's some great people that you're going to meet, Melissa. I want to tell you that. So, Emma, well done. Thank you for finding us. I know that you said, thank you. I should be wearing red because it's Happy Canada Day today. And I pulled out a red top and for some reason put this one on. And it was just like, why did I do that? And for your benefit, Emma, because I know you always ask. Hang on, I brought them with me. Here we go. Okay, those are the two colors. All right, this is the outside one. There you go. And then it's good. And then this is the inside one. We always do this with them. Both Lancome. And then the lip gloss is CoverGirl. There you go, Em. Yeah, of course it matches. I always remember that it was, and so does my eyeshadow, sort of. Um, we go through this every now and then. Yeah, it's very important too. Emma's really very big into what colors am I wearing? Okay, let me put those away again. I always bring them just in case she pops in to ask. Where am I from originally? Hi, Judith. Wow. Now, is that Irish, Judith? Or is it a Judith I don't know? I haven't chosen a trailer yet. No, these are my reading glasses because I'm reading quotes at the moment. Yes. Hello, Judith. Long time no see. How the heck are you, honey? Wow. Isn't that amazing that you found us? Well done. All right. So while she types up some news for us, hopefully, I'm going to read the next quote. And this is by a Bhagwan Sri Ranish from Walking in Zen, Sitting in Zen. So this requires a big breath. You ready, everybody? There is only one courage, and that is the courage to go on dying to the past. Not to collect it, not to accumulate it, not to cling to it. We all cling to the past, and because we cling to the past, we become unavailable to the present. Well, isn't that apt for today? There is only one courage, and that is the courage to go on dying to the past. Not to collect it, not to accumulate it, not to cling to it. We all cling to the past, and because we cling to the past, we become unavailable to the present. What happened yesterday has gone. Oh, Judith, we are delighted to see you. Well, that's really, when I saw the name Judith, I thought, there's only one person I know that calls herself Judith, and that is the lady from Ireland. So I'm glad it's you. It's like, actually, what amazes me, Judith, is that I can still link those two bits of information in my mind. I keep thinking that I'm getting senile, but every now and then I remind myself, not quite yet, or not as badly as I may think. Hmm. Isn't it? It's actually, no, go right ahead. Ask the question. Yeah, Melissa, isn't that true? We miss out on the good when we consumed with the old meaningless things. Yeah, it's like, let it be. It's done. Who cares why they didn't do it or why this happened or why that? Don't get involved in that anymore. Just go, it is what it is. Let me move on. And one of the interesting things that I have to remind myself is at this age, and I don't know if any of you can understand that, but at this age, you start realizing that the friends you thought you had actually aren't there, the ones you thought were going to be there for you, and they're not. And that is pretty scary because for somebody like myself, I don't have family and things like that here. So it's like, that's interesting. All those people I thought would be here when I get to this point in my life have disappeared. Okay. How about you tell everybody what CBT is? And this is the thing. This is her recommendation to you, right? That you spend less time online. So here's the point. If you are going to go to get therapy, and you don't do what they suggest, then why go to therapy? I would say, that cognitive therapy to me is a wonderful learning tool, right? But here's the thing: let me just tell you something. Um, One of the things that I used to be really friendly with. One of my friends actually was a therapist, and she said one of the interesting things is how many people come to her and say that they want to stop being an alcoholic, and she would say to them, then stop drinking. you know and so this is the thing. If what she perceives in talking to you is that you're spending too much time on the internet, then you may want to listen to that. Nobody can force you. You're an adult. Nobody can force you, but you may want to listen to that. What I would recommend is have times in the day where you do it. So here's what I would recommend. If you were perfectly honest, how much time do you think you spend at your computer every day? You don't have to impress us because we're not therapists. But what do you reckon? By the way, everybody answer that. How much time do you spend with your computer every day or online on your cell phone? And I'm including Facebook and all that stuff. Okay, 8 hours a day. Yeah, you see, Melissa, you're not alone here. Okay, so here is the thing: 8 hours a day. If your son was watching television 8 hours a day, what would you say? Em? All right. And the question is, why would you say that isn't healthy? So think about that. Why is it not healthy for your son? And then ask yourself, then why is it healthy for me? All right. So here's what I do. And some of you who know me know that is true of me. I get up in the morning and I actually am on my computer while I drink my first 2 cups of coffee. I'm answering emails, I'm answering people that have written to me from overseas overnight, things like that, right? And then I leave it. Okay. I go about my day. And the only time I check back in is when I take a break from my day. All right, so be aware. You know, yeah, so some of you got rid of your TVs, right? And so, but the thing is, just be aware. And if you're spending 8 hours a day, M, how could you make it six? What would you need to do to cut out 2 hours a day? Because that would you be able to go back to your therapist and go, I've managed to cut out 2 hours a day so far, and I'm working on making it more than that. Go back with a positive result. And the easiest way is to give yourself time spans when you can do it. And the way you do that is to plan your day differently. Does that make sense, Em? Because they have proven that the new drug is the internet. You guess it messes with sleep? All right, don't worry about don't worry about what time of the day it is. Okay, Melissa's saying we lose ourselves. I find with technology, I'm so depressed because I miss the phone and actual conversations. I hate technology sometimes. Try exercise and doing something for yourself. Yeah, cut down on YouTube. So this is the whole thing. Um, I really have to say to you that there are ways to do it. All right. Now, obviously, I'd be devastated if we didn't see you anymore. But it's so be it. But it's like be aware of how much time you're spending. I would keep a log. I'd keep a log. You are a very clever person. You got a mind that works like a steel trap. So I'd actually, give yourself the reality check. Even if you go to your therapist and say, I thought it was 8 hours a day. It turns out it's more. I've actually been keeping check for the last 2 days. Right? That's a positive thing to take back to a therapist, because that shows that you are actually accountable for your reality. Makes sense, Em? Yeah. Cognitive therapy works really well because you're dealing with, this is what my mind thinks, and then they give you what you may want to counter it with. And we do that a lot here. But basically, that's what it is. So I am a useless person. All right. Let's say that's what's running through your head. And you go, yep, some days I am, but most days that's not true of me. I do this, 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 and this. Right. So what you're doing is you're correcting that negative thinking all the time. Yeah, Kim. But it's great that you do pop in, and we are most grateful that you do pop in. I want to tell you, it's a very difficult thing to do, Em, is to listen to yourself and actually believe that some of the things you tell yourself are worthy of your attention. How many have had to learn that all the time we're so busy turning ourselves into a pretzel for everybody else that what we really think is given very little space. Yeah, Melissa, taking our own advice is it's pretty difficult. Okay, I've just got a thing from Lauren here that says she's going to be home within the week. Yay! Isn't that wonderful? For those of you who don't know, Lauren's been in hospital for quite the longest time. What is it? At least 3 months now, I would think. So that's wonderful to hear that she's going to be home within the week. That's awesome. Yes, Judith, I quite agree. It's about finding something else to do that does not require the computer. Um, Find a hobby, start doing something that doesn't require a computer and make time for it. Yeah, between Lauren and Erin, they've both been, away from home for a long time. It's amazing. Okay, Jody, welcome back. And I just got a note from Lauren that she's going to be home next week, Jody. All right, so let's take another deep breath. And it's amazing the quotes that are coming up today. I mean, it's quite, if you believe in coincidence, which I don't, but here we go. The past is dead. The future is imaginary. Happiness can only be in the eternal now moment. That's Ken Keyes Jr. who said that. All right, the past is dead. Stop worrying about it. Stop trying to change it. You can't change the past, it's gone. The future, you don't know. You don't even know if you're going to make it there. All right, you don't know whether you're going to be alive tomorrow. So stop worrying so much about the future, Sal. Okay, all right. Happiness can only be in the eternal now moment. Are you happy today? Melissa, are you happy you popped in today? Is it really 5.5 months that Erin's been away from home? Wow, it's amazing, isn't it? Because it is our job to make ourselves happy, right? Not somebody else's job. Oh, when I get the right person in my life and then I'll be happy. No, it is up to us to make ourselves happy. And it is up to us to see how much time we are wasting every day. And that's the other thing. I think that you might want to have a look at how much time are you wasting online rather than doing something creative or, that literally you are just numbing out online. That's the thing to look at. I Yeah, of course you are. And you know why, Em? Because you're not stupid. It distracts you away from the things that you need to be doing. That's why. Yeah, I know, honey. Makes you sick, doesn't it? But you know what I love about you, Em, is you can see it when it's right in your face, right? Here's the 2x4. Boom, boom. But the thing is, Emma, my love, we've known you a long time. I needed to hear it, and so did other people in this room. I'm spending far too much time not packing up my house because I don't want to go. Right? I mean, the stacks are getting bigger, I know, but I'm not what you might say in any sort of hurry. And is it any wonder that I'm not finding what I want because I'm not really looking? I spend time looking, but I'm not really motivated at this point. So you're not alone. Adulting is so hard, isn't it? How many of you agree with Emma? Being an adult sucks. Being accountable for our behavior sucks. Way to go, Kim. She actually went out and cut the grass. Yeah. You see, that's just it. Okay, so thank you, Emma. I thank you so much for popping in today and talking about this because we're all we can all feel it. All right, Melissa, we have a couple of things for you if you'd like to know. I spent a lot of time in Africa where that sort of heat was an everyday thing and I didn't have air conditioning. Would you like to know what my recommendations are? And they both work. Okay, Emma, good to see you. All right, so the first thing is if you are dealing with unnecessary heat and you can't get the temperature inside down, run a shower. And first of all, running a shower will pull the heat down into the drain. I don't know if you know that, but it literally will suck the heat down. The other thing is this: if you get in the shower, start with your normal temperature and then systematically just lower the heat. Okay? And you'll be surprised how low you can go. But the thing is to start at the normal temperature and then just give yourselves, a little bit of time just to get used to that, then turn it down a bit and just a little bit of time, get used to that. And then just keep turning it down. By the time you've finished, you will have lowered your body heat significantly. Yeah, menopause. Yeah, don't even talk to me about that. Luckily, I think I'm through it. The other thing is, do you have a long scarf? The one that sort of ties around your neck a couple of times? Because if you do, this is what I found works really well at night. I actually rinse out a long scarf. I've got a cotton long scarf, and I rinse it out, so it's not sopping wet. It's just damp. Well, it's wet, and then I wring it out, so it's not dripping water. And then I will lie on my bed and just lay that over the top of me. And it is amazing how that cools you down and keeps you cool for about 2 hours. Yeah, I found that the sopping wet hair was the one that got me. And how many of you know that one? It wasn't just the hot flashes. It was, why is my hair sopping wet? You know? And I really do want to thank Jody for giving me the tip about how to correctly wash your hair. How many of you just get in the shower, wash your hair, and leave again? Because I started getting, I don't know if any of you've got it. I started getting spots in my hair. It's like I got acne in my hair for some reason. That's what it felt like. And of course, you can't help but scratch it. And so what I did was I got Head and Shoulders shampoo because I thought that would fix it, but it didn't. And then I was talking to Jody about it one day, and the thing was to wash your hair properly. Okay. So how do you wash your hair properly? Tip of the day. Anybody? Does anybody do it properly? Okay, so I'm not sure if there's a delay. Hot water. Okay, Judith's saying hot water, first shampoo, then cold water, question mark. This is what I understand. Stick your head in the washing machine. Nice one, Ireland, yeah. And then don't forget the dryer afterwards, yeah. Just jump in the dryer and dry it off. Um, don't do that, people. All right, so here's what I heard. Wet your hair first, right? Wet it all the way to the scalp, right? Then put on your shampoo, but don't put it all over your hair. Don't just suddenly start doing the thing. Literally just work it in to the scalp. Making sense? So literally go in and work it into the scalp everywhere. Don't worry about the ends. Just work it all around your scalp. That's the thing you're trying to clean is your scalp. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Now, the first time you wash your hair, you will know this from your own experience. You can feel that it doesn't suds as much because you've got oils and stuff. So then once you've done that all over, rinse it all off, and the rinsing all off will actually wash the rest of it. And then do the same thing again. Concentrate on working the scalp, not the hair. And I've been doing that. And Jody, thank you so much, because what has happened is that I've almost got rid of all the owies in my head on my scalp. Thank you. So simple when you do it right. And I haven't even got that fancy stuff yet, Jody. So it really, yes, I only wash my hair a few times a week as well. That's another thing. But some people need to wash it more, and that's fine. So I just want you to pass that on because it's important. All right. So another deep breath, and all right. This is from Charles Henry McIntosh, sorry, and from what he wrote, which was called "I Looked on Life," and this is his quote: "One cannot conquer the evil in himself by resisting it, but by transmuting its energies into other forms. The energy that expresses itself in the form of evil is the same energy which expresses itself in the form of good. And thus, the one may be transmuted into the other." All right, so does anybody understand what that means? It means it takes the same energy to think negatively as it does to think positively. So whenever you get that negative thought in, work on rewording whatever that is. Yes, I understand that's going on in your mind. However, this is what the positive is. And again, that is cognitive. Judith's saying about here that it's a good idea to use the conditioner first. Interesting. I'm going to try that. Do we know why, Judith? What was their reasoning? What was their reasoning for doing that? Because when you shampoo, you'd be shampooing out the conditioner as well, right? Interesting. Worth a try. The main thing is work the scalp. The idea is, get the circulation going in the scalp and stop the build up there. That's what I think my problem was. All right, here's a good one for everybody. You ready? Deep breath. Be afraid of nothing. In fact, be afraid of nothing you have within you. Because within you, you have all wisdom, all power, all strength, and all understanding. I wonder how many of you believe that. Be afraid of nothing you have within you, all wisdom, all power, all strength, and all understanding. You see, what you think is relevant. You are way more powerful than you give yourself credit for. Well, I've just got to read out. This is about the hair again. Judith is saying, basically, the conditioner reinforces the natural protective layer of the hair, smoothing the cuticle and enhancing shine. And then the shampoo rinses away the weight of the conditioner. Scientists at Unilever and L'Oreal have found that reversing the order of application, conditioner first, shampoo second, is a recipe for softer, bigger bodied hair, especially if the hair is fine. So you don't go conditioner, shampoo, conditioner. You go conditioner, shampoo, done. Now, I've got a 2-in-1. Never mind. I can start with conditioner. I've got lots to use up. I'm going to try that. Interesting. All right. Are you ready for a really positive quote, people? Don't worry, Judith. Don't worry. We got the idea. And anybody who's really interested, they can Google it. Because I got smart viewers. Not a problem. We've got the base information. And you've given us enough information, Judith. Thank you. All right, everybody. Here is a really good quote. And some of you may want to write this up and put it on your mirror. If you know you want it, have it. That simple. So if you know you want it, have it. So what do you want? That you have been denying yourself. What is it you want? Jody, what joy is having a latte foam maker? What joy has that brought to your life? Thank you, Jody. For those of you who are enjoying the broadcast, Jody's just put in a $5 donation. Thank you, Jody. But for those of you who may be watching on the replay, if you find the broadcast of any value, you would like to donate towards the cost of running the show and the website and everything, if you go to DearMamaSal.com, there is a donation button on the right-hand side, and feel free to put in whatever you may choose. Every little bit helps. Everything costs money to run these things. So now that I'm retired, I really appreciate the support. Thanks, Jody. You were so good about doing that. All right. So what is it, Jody? Tell us about your foam machine. Why has it been worth having? Because you didn't have it for most of your life, and now you do. So what made it worthwhile? I personally think my foam machine is one of the most used gadgets I have in my kitchen. My magic bullet definitely isn't a waste of money, and nor is my foam machine. I would get rid of my Keurig before my foam machine. In other words, I go back to making regular coffee um, before I would get rid of my foam machine. Definitely. Like a no-brainer for me. It takes your coffee to another level. It's the coffee shop experience at home. It feels so decadent. By the way, how much money is it saving you? This is the other thing. I always think of, if I went out for the coffees that I make for myself, they would cost me at least $5 a shot, at least. And so, to me, it's like, yeah. All right. So we've got 15 minutes left before the end of the broadcast. And so before I go, I just wanted to check, is there anything that anybody would really like to have me talk about, or anything that you really would like to report on? What have you been up to? What do you need help on? Um, what are your goals for this week so that we can support you? Just putting up my email address again. You haven't bought any fancy coffees, right, since you bought the firma. You don't need to, right? You make your own. And that money you used to spend there can now go towards, more additives for your coffee. So to me, I think that, we deny ourselves of so much when really every now and then we need to just get ourselves something that's a little luxurious. Because what it will do for us. How is the RV hunt going? Well, I'm still looking. This week it is on my goal list this week to go and see one more toy hauler. There's one I haven't seen, and that's made by Jayco, because I want to make sure I've seen all those toy haulers. Definitely that, if I know which ones I would get if I had to, but I want to make sure that I see the quality or lack of it in the Jayco. So I'm going to do that. Wow, that is incredible. Amy's saying next month on your birthday. Do we have that date, Amy? 23rd, right? August already. She's going to be celebrating 16 years clean and sober. Yay, that's incredible. Well, Judith, that's a good question. If I go that route, I probably would buy the fifth wheel before I sold the house, Judith, because what I would do is buy it, have them deliver it to my house, and fill it up with the stuff that I really want in there, and then go park it so the house would then be ready to sell, and I would leave it. I would literally go and live somewhere else so that I didn't have to worry about keeping the house tidy. Well, you know something, Amy, I am certain you have learned so much about yourself. I am coming up 6 years clean of cigarettes, and long journey. It took me a lifetime to do, but so worth it, right? Yeah, it sounds exciting, but is it? Right? I did take a major step, Judith. I did phone the bank and say I need an appointment because I want to work out with my bank people how I do this. All right. I want to make sure that I'm clear in my head how I go about doing this. I'm still not 100% sure that I will, um, what I'm going to do. You both stopped on January the 1st. That's an incredibly good. I did it January the 12th, 9:30 a.m. I remember it well. Put the patch on, that's it. haven't. I want to tell you something. I have not had a puff since. So, I want to say I'm looking forward to being able to celebrate 16 years. Let's hope that I get that far and then to celebrate 16 years clean. That would be wonderful. Yeah, it was incredibly difficult for me. I tried every single thing they ever came out with to help you stop smoking, but eventually I did it. Yeah, that's an unusual time of the day to quit 3 PM in the afternoon. Wow, March the 15th. Yeah. The funny thing is, Amy, and Kerry will tell you the same thing, that I know if I had one puff, that would, I would probably not be able to stop at one puff. That I would then say, well, one puff's not going to kill me, so yeah, and then I'd be on one cigarette, it's not going to kill me, and then oh, I heard that 3 cigarettes a day, won't kill you, and then I'd be back to 20. So no, one puff isn't in my. I would go back to vaping rather than smoking if I had to go back for some reason, but without tobacco, without nicotine, just for the. But I even then I have no wish. Yeah, I must admit that I could not. I am very grateful for being able to vape, and luckily in Canada, at the time you couldn't get nicotine in the vape juice. Yeah, they say it's worse than heroin for some of us. I know that they had me on methadone at one point because when I was trying to quit, because my withdrawal symptoms were so dramatic. Yeah, but we still found the money, didn't we, Amy? Right? I can actually tell you. I'll look it up and I'll report it on another broadcast. I know the last time I checked, I'd already saved about 25,000 on cigarettes. I think it was well over 20 anyway. It was somewhere in between the 20 and 25,000, I think, in 5 years. They're more expensive here in Canada, but that's pretty scary, isn't it? And what have I bought with that 25,000? I don't know. Art materials. I'm not sure. So everybody, um, I just wanted to first of all, where's the horn? It's packed. Have you seen the little pictures are packed as well? Um, and this I've got to change. This on my list for doing as well this week. Almost everything is packed up now, and that you see there is my sort of tape. I have that one box, and it's got my tape and all the other things that I need when I'm packing up. The plastic wrap thing and stuff like that. And then over here we've got the boxes. So it's really quite a business. And one of the things that's so funny, because as you can probably imagine, when I go looking at places, I keep looking, where would I do the broadcast? They're sort of used to this pretty picture thing, when I broadcast, and I'm going, where would I broadcast from here? And it's funny how my mind goes to that. Right. So anybody got any goals that they want to be held accountable on? Just very quickly before I go. Melissa, please write to me so I can send you the link to Jody and to Kerry. No, Judith, the parks have notably bad Wi-Fi. I actually have gone into investigating how do I get my own Wi-Fi. I think it's called MiFi. So where you actually have your own, you don't have to rely on good Wi-Fi from the let it be a pleasant surprise if the Wi-Fi is up to it. I have pretty high Wi-Fi here, And I know I would not get that sort of level at a RV place. The biggest problem that I've found so far, Judith, is number one, um, that they don't necessarily want long-term people. They make more money out of the short-term people. They don't mind you in the winter because it sort of, keeps the income going, but they don't really want you around all summer because they can be making twice as much out of. I think you can. I'm not sure how it works in the States. So, your telephone acts as your smartphone is a is a Wi-Fi hub, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit to my internet provider. The other thing is, if you're there for any length of time, it's probably worth just having the company give you good Wi-Fi directly, if that's possible to do. Yeah, so there are lots of things to have a look at, and it's going to be a big learning process. But what you do know, because you know me well enough, whatever I end up doing, you guys are probably going to hear about it. So we will find out that way. All right, I am off to put the finishing touches, get the bread in the oven, so that when I serve the stew, there'll be hot bread to go with it. And then I will also, for those of you who missed it, I am doing a beef barley stew that's been cooking in the slow cooker since lunchtime. So everybody, I hope you have a wonderful week. Melissa, thank you so much for coming to join us. And please come back if you choose to. We really want to tell you that we do all sorts of different broadcasts. Some of them are funny, some of them are very serious. What we try and do is make sure that everybody has a time to feel. Melissa, also let your friends know. You know what I mean? It's like, if people don't know there is such help, then they won't find us. We're blessed. I'm sure. One thing's for sure, Melissa. I am sure you will end up giving as much as you get. So, Judith, great to see you. Don't be a stranger. All the rest of you, thank you for being here as usual. I am so grateful. I need to get my rear end out of neutral and start moving forward, however difficult that is for me. So wish me great courage, because that's what I'm needing at the moment. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, look after one another, but please, 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 most of all, remember, look after yourself. This is me saying thank you for being here, and positive vibes back to you, Melissa, and everybody else. Bye-bye for now.